mess around with light. This is lesson 6. So in light, let's go ahead and open Blender up. Beautiful. So we have one object. I'm going to go ahead and make my screen just a tad bit brighter. And I'm going to turn on my screencast, so you can see the instructions. So remember, on the side you will see the commands that I'm using for this project. All right, so we're going to dive into light, and light is pretty fun. It's like once you have your design all ready to go, you can add light. Once you have texture, you can add the light source to it. So let's go ahead and add a couple objects so we can see what's happening. So let's add a cone. Okay, and let's add Command Shift, and let's go ahead and add a circle. Let's press G, move that out. Okay, let's start with those for now. And we want to make sure we add a plane. So in this particular lesson, you're going to make sure you add a plane, and plane gives you the surface that it sits on. So I'm going to scale that up by pressing S. So that's our plane, and that's actually the ground, the surface. So notice that you have some things that are not showing, so that means it's underground. So let's go ahead and move that on the y-axis. Let's move that on the z-axis and bring that up. Perfect. Okay, same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and just click on my tool and move that up like that. This is under. Let's bring that up a little bit so we can see. I'm going to go ahead and move this down. Okay, now right here, when it loads, it gives you a light automatically, and this light here in particular, you have 4 different types of lights. So let's go over the lights. Right here is your properties of lights. So you have a point light, you have sunlight, you have spotlight, and you have area light. Okay, right here in the center, it tells you what type of light you have. So right now we have just a light, just a regular light bulb. Okay, not too strong, just it's right there, just a light bulb. Now to view this object, right now we're going to switch to view mode. So we're going to go ahead and change it while it loads. Okay, great. So now we're in this mode here. A couple things are running slow. So I'm going to close some things here. Force quit. A lot of elements running here. So let's close that. Let's close Keynote. Okay, what else we got up here? Let's close that so it can run a little faster. Perfect. Alright, so now here it is. Here's the light. I'm going to press G so I can move the light around. Nothing's really happening once you move it around. So let's go into another scene. So each scene gives you the option. Now in this scene, you can actually see what happens when you move the light around. See what happens? This is just using the regular light bulb. Okay. So right now we have a light. Now if I want to change the color of this light, I can just double click. Remember, we're in properties. We're on the point light. Okay. Now when you see that it has another like line going around it, it means it's actually casting a shadow. Okay. So I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to move that. See, give it a nice, you can play around with it. Okay, good. Alrighty, so now there you have a nice light. The power represents, if we go here, let's go to power. So the power right here represents the watts. So we can tone down the watts if you want. Let's make it 100, not too strong. Okay, but let's give it 1,000 watts. And hit enter, and it becomes stronger. Okay, radius is, you can play around. Radius gives us like the amount, intensity, and depth of the light. Okay, you're gonna go into customs, and custom you can actually play around with that also. So So now let's go ahead and add another light. So we're going to add a, so the next light we're going to add, let's see if we can add a, let's go ahead and add a, we have a point light, and let's add a spotlight. So we're going to click add, go down to light, and add a spotlight. Okay. Now I'm going to move that spotlight up because it's underneath. So here. So I'm going to scale in smaller so we can see it. In the spotlight, notice that the light is directly spotted right on top. Now notice that the spotlight is at 10. It tells you right here. It's at 10 watts. Not too strong. So I'm going to increase that. Let's see what happens when we go to 1,000. See, it changed a little bit. It changed. Let's bring the spotlight in. You see how it gives you that nice little ring around there. I'm going to zoom in, and that's all it is. Spotlight, you can actually click on this part. You can position the spotlight by moving it around. So if you want, I'm going to put a spotlight on this side. Okay. I'm going to rotate it up a little bit. See? So spotlight is pretty cool. You can position it, you can move it back in. So you can change the spotlight, the color of the spotlight, give it a nice dark. Let's bring that down. I want to make it like a nice darker brown. Okay, so there, we got a spotlight in there. So let's go ahead and add another light. Let's add we got a point. Let's add, so we do have a point. Let's add a point light. Add. So you can add multiple lights. That's the cool thing about this. So here's my point light. See, and now I want the point to give a nice light on top. Notice that the intensity is still same steps. Let's add 100. Nice. So you can have multiple lights that comes into the piece. You see. Bring that on the top. I'm gonna put it right here, bring it in tight, and I'm gonna zoom in to see what we have. That looks good. Okay. Again, you can change the color of your light if you want. Move it in. Okay. You can click on the plane, and we can actually, you can also add some color to the plane if you want to, but we're not going to go into that yet. Let's leave it like that for now. What do you guys think so far? Okay. So you can have multiple lights, you can move lights around, you can change the intensity of the light. Okay. You can change the properties of the lights. Okay. Also, another thing I want to show you is that you can add multiple windows. For example, let's say you want to have different views. So I'm going to come in the right hand corner. You click and hold and drag. So now we have another view here that we can look at from different perspective, and we can go here and change it. We want to make sure we're in the right window. Okay, good. So then you can come in here and you can modify, you can change it. You can see from different viewpoints what you're working with. If you don't like it, you just click on here, drag it over, and it closes the window. Okay, it's a little tricky at first, but you just got to click on it. Okay, it gives you another window, another way to look at it from a different perspective while you work. You can rotate this one to see what it looks like. So it gives you a different option to view and work. You want to get rid of it, drag it to the right, and there it is. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so I want you to now experiment, add more lights, create, and just have a blast with the lights. Get to familiarize yourself with how the lights work, and we're gonna come back to that.